Gundam fight all set! Ready, go!
Ooh, try to go live and then jaw pops. Hello, folks, and welcome to the Mechpit chat for the week of March 23rd of 2026. I am Aaroncaster here to help us settle into the week, and we are flying by the seat of our pants. I thought I was gonna have everything all said and done, but well, apparently today decided to be a little bit hectic on me, and I am just getting in the door like 20-30 minutes ago. But that is my fault for not taking proper account for time. So I do apologize for that, folks. But alas, the show must go on. Last week I think I was feeling under the weather, so we didn't do a show. It was a whole thing. Yeah. Anyway, no, we are doing wonderful. We are doing fantastic here. Of course, there's been some news that happened this past week, and I figure we'll kind of have some laughs and delve into it a little bit. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in our fine guest in the back. He's one of my favorite regulars, and I dare say at this point he is the wingman. He's the wingman I can count on to be a regular co-host. So without further ado. Oh, right. I should probably actually push the button.
Whoop, whoop. It's the sound of the waddle.
How we doing, my friend?
We're doing well. We're back. We're back. I'm back. You know, I feel like between this and Gator's stream, you know, with snacks last week, I haven't really been on much on the YouTubes last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's good to be back in the pit.
Oh, man, it's been fun because I've sort of made a slight mistake, or I wound up getting super into a bit of a spending binge for myself with some tabletop stuff. And before I knew it, I was like, well, yes, of course, I need to now have like 5 gunpla kits that are stacking up and slowly leaning forward on my desk because they're like kind of all tipping over my head at this point.
So what you need to do is go to your local hardware store, and now they have the plastic ones, and you think the plastic ones are going to be okay. But if the plastic ones, you know, stack like 4 to 5 high, but you front and back, so 2 rows, then you realize you should have gotten the metal ones because they start to droop after a while.
Oh yeah, of course. For a lot of the stuff I want to do, I want to get like trays so I can put all my my minis in, so I can just transport them and have them all magnetized at the bottom, so they all sit nice and neat. So I might have to just go ahead and spend a bit of money for some actual some sort of miniature storage containers. What was that? Stronghold minis?
Mm-hmm. I'll stop eating. I used to go to Hobby Lobby and try to see when they had like storage stuff on sale for, you know, some of my hobby tools. And I mean, especially with when you're building model kits, right? You'll have spare parts for sure. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. What brand is this?
This is from a company called like Tabletop Stronghold, which is like an FDM, or it's that you know, modular kind of wood they always use for the wood kits.
Yeah.
And it's got all these little like steel trays in it that'll be perfect for putting magnetized minis on, so that way you don't have to worry about them just rattling around and parts breaking off.
Yeah, when you have that rollout bit, so all you have to do is put them in, roll them out, put them back in.
Exactly. It seems like it's kind of the ideal case, the ideal plan.
Oh yeah. Oh, and you can.
Yeah, prices aren't the most ideal, but also maybe if I get a nice little bonus or something, I can treat myself.
Well, it's so fun because when you start the one hobby, not that you only have one hobby, but when you're starting one hobby, it's like, okay, there's a few startup costs, like, oh, I have some other hobbies, but I need a couple specialized tools, $50-$60. Oh, I need this, blah blah blah. I can do this. A couple kits cost, so like you're $100 in, and you're like, this is pretty fun. I can do this, and then by a couple more kits, you're like, oh, if I just upgrade to this and this and this, and before you know it, like,
a little fortune dropped in them. Like, and here I am with like my little my little robot legion put together for 1-page rules. I've been like, well, yes, of course, I want to have vaguely Egyptian robots, but then I look around and I'm like, oh, cool, they have a whole faction that are their Titan lords. So I'm like, well, yes, the perfect thing I could use to stand in as proxies for these are going to be those like 30-minute mission kits.
Oh, nice.
So now I get to go and buy a bunch of those, and I'm like, well, yes, these can be perfect for it. And before I know it, I've got like 5 of those piling up, which is gonna basically be the same as like essentially a Warhammer 40,000 army, where you can expect like 30, 35 plus models.
Yeah.
So I only spent like $120 maybe, and now I have an entire army right there.
Which is cool.
It's nice because this particular game is more rules agnostic, so I can just go grab like the Gundam heavy arms and have that as like a big missile boat of a mech.
Yeah,
and no one would go and complain about it. No one would say anything like, "Oh, you can't play it." I was like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like games like that have a little bit of freedom, like because the backyard garage sort of house rule games, right? Yeah, I don't know what's up with that Ultra Tripper.
That I think is in part my fault for basically getting the show right together 5 minutes before we went live. So
I
guys like
tweeted it
Vince
out.
who might regularly pop in, basically weren't made aware of it. So that's in part on me.
We're trying to get the word out. So, but yeah, I'm not trying to, shame you by any means, Mr. Ironcaster. But no, I don't. It's oh man, like I've had some reasons, but like recently I've thought maybe I should build another kit or two. It's been so long.
So just like pudding, there's always room for one more.
Well, I don't need to buy it anymore. I just need to build some. And for reasons, but there's a couple that were gifted to me a while back that I hadn't got around to towards the end of my building time. And somebody knew that I really liked them, but it kind of stopped at that time. So it's like, you know what? And so one was a Death Scythe, one of the HGs that they came out a few years ago. And one of them was the Cable Witch or whatever from Witch from Mercury. So,
that's a very good point, Ultra. Long time no see, by the way, there, my friend. It's been a minute. Sorry, I the things I get tagged in on Twitter sometimes, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, I always kind of find it funny because there's certain things I sort of get I get tagged with as being my thing, and with guys like Tops and Stone Loki, it's like shark movies. Yeah. That's totally Ironcaster thing.
Yeah,
and apparently with some of our other friends like T-Shirt, apparently it is short stack goblins.
I feel like we've had those discussions a couple times. And yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, apparently I am getting forced into this to now be my thing. But so apparently, yes, if you find those short stack goblins out there, be sure to send them my way.
I feel like we talked about some short stack figures like 6 months ago.
Well, certain things never go out of style. Just like I think probably one of the biggest topics that kind of happened last week, and was one of the rather unfortunate things, a good Chuck Norris joke.
Yeah.
68 years old.
Dang.
The legendary Chuck Norris sadly left this mortal coil to ascend to a higher plane, to where apparently he must go and roundhouse kick some angels into high gear for the good Lord.
Yeah. I think he roundhouse kicked too hard and launched himself into the next life.
It sort of reminds me of back in 2012, if you recall. There was, of course, the Mayan prophecy that happened. Well, at around the same time, why none other than one Macho Man Randy Savage unfortunately had passed away. And
Yeah.
so there was a meme for a good minute there that Macho Man Randy Savage prevented the apocalypse.
Oh.
He died to save us. And Chuck has followed him on.
You know, one hero per crisis. I mean, it's a horrible trade-off, but at the same time, it's a more creative way to deal with the train problem, right?
Ultra, I have to disagree. That's not the story I heard. You see, Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris wasn't born. He punched his way out of the womb, smacked the doctor. No, see, Chuck Norris was born in a hospital he built with his own hands, and he roundhouse kicked the doctor on his way out.
My favorite part is this for those of us who played World of Warcraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Circa 08, like almost 20 years ago. That was peak season. What was it? The deserts or the wastelands? Didn't matter what server you are on. If you walked just in that region, the chat was just spamming Chuck Norris jokes 24/7 for how many years? like there was a spam bot just adding Chuck Norris jokes, and it was just it feels a bit of nice warm fuzzy nostalgia knowing that the internet is rallying around somebody, right? So,
and sort of in honor of that, this weekend I was playing my Guild Wars 2 as I usually do. And as we're all doing some big boss raid fight, where the entire map has come together to like try to beat down this giant steel door that you need hundreds of bombs to blow up.
Right.
Chad is of course dropping Chuck Norris jokes, sort of in honor and memory of him. Like, the steel of this door was also used to make Chuck Norris's action jeans.
Nice.
Which is why it's nigh invulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my senior year of high school. So we're talking circa 2007.
Okay.
Chuck Norris is immune to D4s. My friend, you misunderstand. Those 4-sided dice are the flakes of Chuck Norris's beard that he shaves off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this. This is 2007, so this is like peak Chuck Norris joke. This is right when all that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are in this movie class, and we're supposed to be watching movies from all the different decades, and we wind up watching, Enter the Dragon, or whichever one it was that had Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee fighting.
Yeah,
the perfect timing for this, just so we can guys, oh my god, we're in the back of the class, just Chuck Norris jokes back and forth. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups; he pushes the earth down.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Chuck Norris doesn't go to
taxes.
Yeah, Chuck Norris doesn't go to a job interview; he interviews the job. Like he hires you to be his employer.
Chuck Norris doesn't go hunting. Hunting implies you can fail. He goes killing.
Like some of the Chuck Norris jokes are kind of in parallel to like in Russia, Mother Russia does, But point is, yeah, like what I really miss. This makes me want to go back and watch the clips back when Conan was on network TV, right when he was now on the network that owned all the Chuck Norris clips, and so he got the Chuck Norris level for like a year or two, and he's like, we're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, it was the Walker Texas Ranger lever.
Yeah, and it was like Walker said I have AIDS. I think that was Haley Joel Osment playing a kid who was like an orphan, or his mom was on drugs or something. It was just one of those like sad, sappy 90s episodes. I think that was right after. That's right when whatever the one show about the news, Early Edition, was between Walker Quinn, Dr. Quinn and Walker. Because let's face it, thanks to Talladega Nights, we all remember that Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman came on 2 hours before Walker. Oh, yeah, there's been a few people that passed away even today.
There was, of course, so it is sort of our wheelhouse. One of the comics I have been reading regularly and have been giving a lot of praise to has been Transformers.
Mhm.
And I didn't get a chance to talk about it last week because we were off. But in the recent issue of the Energon Universe from IDW for Transformers, Transformers 30 had a bit of a controversial change that happened. As in it, we had, it is currently being written by Robert Kirkman, best known for his stuff on The Walking Dead and Invincible. So the big thing the guy's always known for is just big shocking twists where you like don't see them coming, and Transformers has been no different for him. To this end, we had a big trade-off as in it, Optimus Prime has given up the matrix of leadership. It is now no longer the leader of the Autobots. Where the controversial thing is the way in which it happened, and this was passed off.
Mm-hmm.
And to that end, we had it was Alita 1 had gone and challenged them for the mantle of it, and apparently the Matrix has chosen her to now lead the Autobots. So he's given up the Matrix, and now he's now Optimus.
Oh.
I was hoping to find.
I thought the Primes were like a family. You couldn't take away the Prime name.
So, historically speaking, with it, there is kind of two things at the same time. There were some prominent Primes that are sort of like the major founding, figures of them, like Quintus Prime, Liege Maximo, Megatronus, Micronus Prime, etc.
Okay.
There's like 12 or 13 of them. So forgive me if I don't remember quite all of them off the top of my head. But yeah, to that end, we had this big change happen. But yes, so the idea is whoever has the mantle of the Matrix, whoever has the Matrix is made into a Prime. And to that end, we now have the same thing with Alita, who's now gone on to become Alita Prime. So I'll pull some stuff from the wiki just for some references, but with that said, yes. It's a lot of people are kind of not taking well to this change, as we now have Alita 1, who has kind of been like the girlfriend figure to Optimus, to Orion Pax, is now basically taken his mantle away and has now usurped him as the leader of the Autobots. Now, a lot of people are getting quick to either cry woke or what have you. And I'll say, as a longtime Transformers fan, look, at the end of the day, the Matrix is ultimately going to go back to Optimus. This is just something that's going to happen, and we've seen other people hold the Matrix for a time. Hot Rod became Rodimus Prime.
So, like Captain America sort of thing.
Yes, but it's a little bit different than, say, the MCU, because they want to keep like marrying the character to the actor pretty much to where.
Well, I didn't even mean MCU. I just mean like in the comics. I know that Bucky was Captain America for a while. Sam might have been a little like Falcon was for a minute. So like the mantle of the idea, right? I'm not talking about that mess as Chris Evans coming back as the flaming Captain America, right? Did I say that wrong? Anyway, but I'm just kind of making that sort of like in universe, it's a title, it's a position, you're holding on to the spark. You're not, you know what I mean? Like
It's something I'll be honest, I'm not surprised to see. This was a comic that took effectively a year and a half to finally give us a proper Optimus versus Megatron fight. So for the first, it took like 18 issues before the two were standing like face to face. That outside of like a flashback.
Dang.
And Robert Kirkman, to his credit, has done a lot to build trust over the years.
Okay.
He's been very shocking, very surprising here or there. At this point, I'm willing to ride this out. Okay, this could be a shakeup. I don't know what to expect out of it. Maybe there'll be something to enjoy out of it. And mind you, this run of Transformers has given us some crazy stuff. Like, for example, when Optimus had Megatron's arm, Megatron's hand as his own. Literally,
nice.
All the blood that Megatron has shed is on his hands.
Literally.
Yeah. It was something unexpected. No one expected to see it.
Uh-huh.
And it was a lot of fun. People have gone and made, proxies of it. This has been some great comics overall. But
I just want to say this because I get that we've been, quote, culture warring for a while. I get that, blah, 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 woke. And, the age of girl boss started in like 10, 15 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. But we as sci-fi nerds say that, Ripley from the 80s was a strong female lead, not in the Netflix category, but somebody we could respect. And so to me, it's like I'm with you. Like if they're true to the characters and they're creating a new storyline and a female becomes empowered, that doesn't necessarily mean it's woke or they're trying to trash. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one of the biggest things of now. If
it's created, if you will, it's created that Pavlovian response where you see the specter of this stuff and you quickly to jump to, oh God, is this going to be woke?
Or I was going to say a false sense of PTSD when it wasn't, some things weren't bad to begin with, but you just knee-jerk reaction to everything. But yeah, it's Pavlovian. Yeah, go ahead.
And it just, in a way, I hate that we've gotten to that point, but we've been so trained. We've seen the pattern happen time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I hate that it's kind of resorted to this, but like to where the point where like, I want to see these characters, step up and try things. Like in this run, we saw this idea step up that RC has taken on more of a role for herself, where she's become a new Magnus, as in like Ultra Magnus, as in like it's sort of like it's its own similar sort of leadership role. Not to the same level as the Primes, but there's a great deal of power and respect that goes with it, and to step up and take that role is something that based on 25 almost 30 issues of this,
and again,
we've seen actually build up and actually see some proper character development to where I want to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm. And I like there's a lot of things about like, okay, like you said, I want to see if somebody has delivered time and time again before and proven their creative vision, their stories are engaging, that they give characters enough time to develop, to understand that you enjoy the process and the moments and the thoughtfulness and the action, right? Then if they do something that is kind of feels quote new or a little bit left field, then it's like, okay, they're being more creative, they're being more adventurous. I don't think they're like the idea that a creator has betrayed you because they're not doing what you think should be done is, I think, the silliest thing ever, right? Because you either appreciate the creator, you can agree or disagree, but if you like their creative mind and how they process and how they develop their creativity and their stories, it's like, just because you don't like what they did with a character that you identified with doesn't, you know what I mean? Or just because you didn't think that person should be leadership, that doesn't mean they're a bad storyteller, right?
And
I don't know.
it's been an interesting universe overall, the Energon universe for comics,
Yeah.
because I mean I've talked about it enough. I have like promoted this time and time again. There's been some great stuff out there. For example, here we are 20 issues into GI Joe as a side book to this,
Hmm.
and there's prominent characters for GI Joe we still have not seen. Like, to my knowledge, Snake Eyes has not appeared in those comics at all, but I know he's going to show up.
Yeah.
Just like with the build up for finally getting Megatron in Transformers, it took,
Hmm.
like I said, 18 issues proper to have him back in his prominent role as leader of the Decepticons, doing his thing.
I, I, I mean,
And it felt earned and deserved to finally get that build up, because it would have been so easy just to have them fighting off in issue 1.
right. I mean, in all fairness, I think letting you said it's been like how many you said 20 volumes of the GI Joe.
So far this past week, issue 20 came out, and to that
Okay.
end, one of those big buildups that happened there,
Uh-huh.
we got Optimus meeting Duke.
Awesome.
That was an awesome moment just to see these two talking as, soldier to soldier.
Yeah. And like it's funny though, because like in the Michael Bay movie, you see how there's those few of those teams, the military troops that they become like integrated with over the course of those couple movies, right? And they kind of have an understanding at some point. And it's neat to see, like I said, two of our childhood franchises coming together. Um, that's fun because kind
And
of like what you're
the,
saying
the
about a
thing is,
tabletop. Oh, go ahead.
it I'll say what makes this universe work is this has all been kind of set up from the get-go to make sense.
Hmm.
Duke, for example, his first appearance was in Transformers #2, where he
Hmm.
watched one of his best friends get murdered before his eyes by Starscream as he squished him like he was a fly.
Mm.
And that moment has become like this pivotal moment in Duke's life that has directed everything he has done. And it's
Gotcha.
become this central moment that has had echoes even to this day, here now, almost 2 years after the fact, with the comic ongoing.
Okay,
Almost 3.
that's cool.
And finally getting this moment with these two to sit down, where cards are allowed to be put on the table, that, well, Duke is now made aware that there are two factions in this war, that, information is being passed between these two, because it would have been so easy for them to go in and just have they're all giant robots, we have to kill them all, and then you have had that classic, like, they go in, they fight, they come to understand each other, and they
Yeah.
both kind of go away with maybe having earned a little bit of respect for each other, like so many crossover comics have done. This is trying something different. Like, for example, the Autobot Hound is a part of the Joes.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, tell me more about that. Baroness is a Joe. Wait, what? Yeah, that's a thing now.
Okay. Okay. I can. All right.
They've they've managed to make me actually care about the humans with the GI Joe stuff, when I have giant transforming robots fighting in Seattle and destroying the Seattle Needle.
Hmm.
Like, I'm like, I want to know more about was it Hit Girl
Yeah. Okay.
or Cover Girl? That's her name.
Mm. Like I said, and I'm I'm bad at comics and manga because there are some that are really gripping and like the story I can get into it, but there's a lot of them like I like the art, but it's like and the panels are so big and flashy, but it's like I remember buying some of 'em, maybe just the random $5, 50-cent comic books or 25-cent comic book sort of off the rack sort of uh you know what I mean? And it's like or maybe it's used and you're like I don't know the story and I don't know how this builds in, but did this everything that happened in this little book, this small little comic book, is like nothing that significant. It, I'd probably have to read the whole story, but like to me, it's like if I can read a story and really kind of feel the emotions and the facial expressions and the art, right? And it's like now the medium works. Um,
But
I
then you
like
have sort of on the flip side, then a sort of flip side of that to kind of as an example, I was talking with someone today about
okay,
where you compare sort of modern comics to classic comics. There's in a lot of ways they don't put as much words onto the page with a lot of modern comics to where they let in a lot of cases the art sort of speak for itself.
hmm
Whereas you go to something even like classic X-Men, which Uncanny X-Men. I love my Uncanny X-Men, but then you look at pages like this and you go back to it and it's like,
yeah,
am I reading a novel?
you are you're. That's almost like a visual novel, like a graphic novel when it has that much, and that's not bad, right?
I mean, this is kind of part of the course for late
That
for 80s comics.
yeah, I was gonna say that era. It definitely is.
Of course, this is just a random issue where like Kitty Pryde is telling like a swashbuckling story, but
Mhm.
still, you sort of get the point where sometimes you do need those panels, but they can, especially when that's like one of the first panels of your issue, like first page, second page,
Yeah,
the second page of it. It is a wall of text that can be a little difficult
daunting.
to like, hook someone in with.
Yeah, well, like I said, you need facial expressions. You need the art to reflect what's going on, and sometimes they capture that perfect action shot of like the moment of like, huh, what are they in motion? And you're like, oh, I want to know what's happening next because the visual shows in motion and the words show that something's happening next, right? I it pushes me forward instead of just reading text, seeing somebody standing there reading text. It's like I'm. It's like I wouldn't say research, but it's like experiencing versus acknowledging, right? In a way,
Yeah, in a lot of cases, sometimes less is more.
yeah. I yeah. I just when I
But
go
like I said,
to
I wanted to bring that up just because like, hey, that was a prominent, it's a prominent mecha story in our little neck of the woods, and
yeah,
well,
yeah, that's cool.
I
That's
had to kind of go. I had to try to step up and at least try to make the argument to go to bat for the comic.
no,
Is a bit out there to have Alita shows up and suddenly demands trial by combat. Yeah, it's out there. But so far, but that said, the comic and the writer have built up enough goodwill to where I want to see if they can sell me on this.
and there could be a compelling reason throughout the story, right?
And the thing is, they could completely drop the ball.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They could have
But
gone, look,
ultimately, it's going to wind up going back to Optimus at some point. I have no doubt. Just like at some point, certain status quo things are going to revert.
yeah,
Uh, Baroness is going to at some point wind up with Cobra. Snake Eyes is going to show up. We are going to see, of course, let's see, Thundercrackers with the Autobots right now. We'll see him probably jump legions back over to the Decepticons. We'll
yeah.
see a lot of tropes coming back. It's all inevitable, and
Well,
there's still big prominent stuff that hasn't shown up. The Dinobots haven't shown up yet. That's going to happen at some point.
true. I was gonna say though, when was the Snake Eyes movie? Was it 3 or 4 years ago?
I want to say 2018, 2019.
Was it that long ago? I thought there was another Snake Eyes movie in the 22 or 23.
21.
Was it 21?
Of course, there was a Nicolas Cage movie called Snake Eyes.
That was like 15, 20 years ago. That was like 20 years ago, wasn't it? No, that was more. Was that around 2001? 2000?
98.
Okay. I was going to say that was almost 30 years ago. I remember seeing that in theaters when I was still in high school.
I've never even heard of this movie in all my talk about Nicolas Cage.
Okay. All right. That is it's a terrible movie. It's a great concept, but it was one of those movies that Cage made back in the day. It's almost on par with him, kind of his lackluster movies now that he's just making a whole bunch of stuff to make money, whatever the theory is. Like,
well, if you recall, he was saying he did that for two reasons: to pay off his taxes and also to look to care for his mother.
Right. But this movie back then, like, it was. I remember it was previewed. It was going to be this big hit, but it was just like they tried to do too much. Granted, I was a kid, right? So I was 14 or 15, I guess. So I was really young. I think a freshman in high school, something like it was still just
black and white.
Huh? No, it's not black and white.
Oh, because like the IMDb photos are all in black and white for some reason.
I feel like that they were trying to be artsy about it. There was something about a fight that got thrown or something, and gambling, and he got in trouble somehow, got caught up in it. I don't know. It's kind of like a worse version of Matchstick Men.
Corrupt Atlantic City police officer Rick Santoro and Navy Commander Kevin Dunn joined forces to investigate both the assassination of Secretary of Defense Charles Kirkland and the disappearance of a beautiful stranger.
Yeah. Maybe it's not about a fight. I think there's something, but there's something about Vegas and betting. Like there's a lot going on, and maybe if I watched it now, but I think it had bad reviews. I don't think it did well.
Got about a 6.1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look, if you're gonna watch a bad movie, there are so many alternatives out there you could watch.
Yeah.
Well, you can go turn to Tubi.com. That's right. We go right into our Tubi ads, Rad Roll.
Exactly. I guess the reason I brought up the Snake Eyes to begin with is if they started the comic, released it in like 20 episodes ago, or in like 24, that means they'd probably been starting writing it for a little while before then. So if in the wake of Snake Eyes movie flopping and all this stuff, when they started writing, they probably weren't keen on bringing him in immediately too. It could be a correlation.
Could be.
I don't know. I always think about how things. The person the fictional character that I would like to one day, that I would aspire to be like or given the same attributes would be Mycroft Holmes.
Oh, I was gonna ask which Nicolas Cage role would you want to most be like?
Gish. I'm gonna have to look at all of them to make sure I haven't forgotten one. I might need to do some special research on this one. I mean, Face Off
reminds me, like,
nice.
We talked about all the like Chuck Norris jokes,
Mm-hmm.
and then you remember for like there was a good minute there where it was all about the Nicolas Cage face swaps.
Oh yeah, and not the bees again, and yeah, like what was the one Season of the Witch? I tried to watch that and I just couldn't finish it. Where he and the dad from the biker gang show. Yeah. I don't remember things well right now. Egad. I never saw him in the Dracula movie, but I heard it was pretty funny.
That one was actually pretty good. I liked it.
I remember a few people talking about that back in the day.
There were like two of these that have always kind of stood out in my head that I've carried in my mind for the last 15 years.
Oh god.
A goo goo gaga.
That's a chud right there.
What is what? Cyber or what was that movie?
I don't even know. I'm scared, dude. I'm scared.
Let's see. Chud is a 1984 science horror film. It's an abbreviation of the movie. Abbreviation: cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. You know,
Yeah.
cage humanoid underground dwellers.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat you, goo goo gaga.
A goo goo gaga.
You know, in what a few weeks ago we were talking about the Goo Goo Gaga from Arknights. Now it's the Nicolas Cage creepy Goo Goo Gaga. Goo Goo Gaga of the Month Club.
Jeez, some of these websites are terrible. Like I found one that's like, oh, just going down. Like, are you LOLing? I had all these face up. It's like, wow, this was what the internet used to be like. I forgot this.
Yeah. Message boards and shit posting. Yeah.
And your top 10 ranked, listicles.
Do you remember E-Bombs World back like 20 years ago was like the place to go? And then by early to mid 2000, like E-Bombs World was like, it was now Reddit and 4chan. Like Imgur was alive for a while, and then it's just now Reddit. And even now, Reddit mods are obviously gods among men, we've learned in the last couple months.
I didn't do E-Bombs World. For me, it was like the Travesty, I think was the website.
Huh. Okay.
It was kind of a similar premise.
And
I
like,
remember watching a bunch of like Michael Jackson animation jokes and old clips from Mad TV.
well, even Chive kind of filled that role for about a decade. Now you have Chive TV at your local franchised sports bar on the channels.
Oh yeah.
And it's just random clips. Somebody took a bunch of clips and themed them together, and now you get like 5-minute little blurbs here and there, and then the next one shows up, and that's what it is.
It's gonna be so crazy to see what the next like 5 to 10 years of internet are gonna transition to.
Well, oh, okay. So speaking of internet and AI slop, so was it the NVIDIA, the DDS5 or whatever? The whole thing in the last few days about like, oh, we do AI from the ground up. We're not just over the top AI slop that's just like filtering. No, we're integrated, and it's like people are like, no, your AI is basically just a filter for what people have done, and then it just adds a little bit to it. And I've seen a bit of memes of that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Dang it, we should talk before the show.
I don't know. We really need to plan these things out better. This is why we're gonna hopefully work on the next.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of weird to think about, like, in the last year, just how the implementation of AI has come about.
Yeah, after Hollywood had strikes for like 2 years, then it's like, okay, cool, but we're still gonna do it.
Because I mean, you look at just like with the AI assistants and these summaries that are out there now, like, just they're all being so designed in such a way that you never never have to leave that main page. Or if you have any question out there, you want to find out the answer to, like, well, how many dimples are on a golf ball? You don't go to a website. The assistant will basically just do the search for you. You don't even have to
It,
do the search now.
except for, and this is the worst part about it, is instead of using a search engine that will give you something, this is the answer, right? These pages have counted. It's AI looks through the information and paraphrases the information for you. And so it could be very well inaccurate, but a lot of people said this. It's like this. Somebody called it out to me in the last few months. Like, say it's Saturday and your favorite sports teams are playing. This is hypothetical. We're nerds. We don't like sports, right? Obviously.
Right.
But if you were, right? And you say, who's going to win? Or like, who won today's, maybe it's World Series. Who won today's World Series game? And you're asking it at 10 a.m. your time, and the game isn't for 3 hours, but you ask it who won, and it comes back telling you which team won by how many points, what the spread was, because it's using everybody's predictions and bets and all these things and saying, like, well, this is what people think, so I'm taking the information and saying this is what happened because I phrased the question that it was in the past, and so it answers that it already happened. But it's like, but it should be smart enough to know that says that game doesn't happen for 3 more hours. But it doesn't process that part. It can't. Most of the AI that we have doesn't have the ability to reject the premise or process the question. It just answers.
Well, even then, I would say the way a lot of these AIs are designed, it
Yeah.
is done with this, like, almost like sickly sweet. Like, yes, I want to appease you more than anything. I want to say that you are absolutely right. I want to make sure that you are happy with the answer I give you, even if I have to make it up in order to give you exactly what you want.
So that reminds me of the dumb, like, when hear me out for a second, because I've heard people say, like, just be more confident in your speech. Okay, and I've said this to people too. I don't know if I've said that on speed, but brazen stupidity, speaking an absolute fact when you have you have no clue what you're talking about, like, that's not confidence. That's just like you sound confident in what you say, but the people that actually know what's going on will be like, well, this is what it is. I'm not going to shout louder or make it flashy. It's just, this is the truth. I'm confident. I know, right? But if AI again speaks like you said, and I think you make a great point, if AI speaks with this big flashy, I'm affirming you, right? I'm validating what you're saying. Like, then people feel dopamine hit. I want to use AI because I'm always getting a good answer that meets my needs.
It's it's basically the toxic positivity that we always hear about.
Well, yeah, like your entourage, but it's just AI. Yeah, that was great, dude. No, it wasn't. Just program your AI entourage to be positive.
I'm like, look, I need some actual feedback. I don't need someone to, kiss my ass.
I can't wait till AI does a remake of Yes Man.
We kind of are there, mixed with
Yeah.
a little bit of idiocracy.
Yeah, but I don't know if we've hit that sweet spot of full fruition where you just know we've hit peak.
And then you throw in just a dash of Zoolander for how smart these people are.
It needs to be at least 3 times bigger.
My God, he's absolutely right. Like, what have I gotten myself into? I'm not a you Googleizer.
Yeah. When I say brother, I think it's more meaningful this way.
Hell yeah, brother. good.
That was one of my favorite movies in high school, by the way. In college.
Which one? Zoolander?
Oh yeah.
I got to do a rewatch here within the next 2 weeks for Tuesday.
Oh,
the Tuesday show, Talk Hard,
okay.
where we're in the middle of doing Tolkien right now, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it. We were gonna do it as like a Tolkien March,
Mm-hmm.
but then basically everyone sort of had stuff to do last week, so we pushed it back a week. So we're gonna have to do. I think April 1st. We're gonna do Return of the King.
Okay.
But so then after all of that, we are going to be going into Zoolander. So I get to go and remind myself just why I love this stupid movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got the black lung pop. For God's sakes, Derek.
I don't know how many times it took me that when he's sitting there staring at his reflection being all mopey and Hansel goes by in his little push scooter. He's like, who you talking to? You're like, oh, that's what he's saying. Like, I was so entranced on him talking to his reflection that I realized that, in the movie, they call it out because nobody else can see what he's doing. Like, oh,
I'm not a mermaid. I'm a merman.
I'm going to say that Zoolander, actually the Starsky and Hutch remake was decent. And, but Anchorman, the first one, that era, and that was a few years before we had Tropic Thunder, but like that early 2000s window, you had just the stupid intelligent humor, right? The dumbest, but like it was peak in a way because, and maybe that explains where half my jokes and humor come from, because like it's so dumb, but you have to know how it fits together to make it make sense or keep riffing that way. Otherwise, you're just like, this is just, you know what I mean? As opposed to just the straight pothead humor, like
yeah. See,
Seth
that's
Rogen.
why I never really liked Seth Rogen, because it was all
Mhm.
just stoner jokes. I mean, that said, like something like Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, I absolutely love that movie, even though in a way a part of it is stoner humor, but it's not the entirety of it.
But Jack Black really is the white version of Kevin Hart, which makes Jumanji very interesting.
It's just kind of a shame that basically the superhero craze really, well, of course there was the Dark Knight, but then like Marvel took it to a whole new level, and by like 2013,
Yeah,
comedies as a genre were basically just non-existent anymore, because you also at the same time had the rise of wokeness was starting to really affect the way Hollywood did comedies.
yeah.
And then no one wanted to even touch a movie like Grandma's Boy.
Ain't no tea party like a grandma's tea party, because a grandma's tea party don't stop.
I haven't watched that movie in forever. I'm
Me
just
neither.
going down a list now, and I'm like, I've seen half of these. There's some of these I never saw, like Garden State. I don't know what that movie is, but it's got Zach
Garden
Braff.
State was at the same time as. So is that the Garden State's the Zach Braff version of Elizabethtown? They came out about the same time. It's about a parent dying, having to like go get the body, but it's Zach Braff in his just awkward. You said, yeah. What was it called again?
Oh crap, I lost it here. Garden State.
Yeah, Garden State. So he's all depressed and sad. His mom dies. He has to go back. This is also in the era when the girl who played Padme hadn't gone too crazy. My brain just I've stopped thinking about pop culture enough that my brain has just shut off that part of my mind.
I'm just a little surprised. I'm looking down this list, and movies from the 2000s that you could not make today. Like, here's 3 right off the top of the list. The Ringer.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you just for context, Johnny Knoxville, is pretending to be retarded to enter the Special Olympics.
Yeah. Pete,
I just wanted to say retarded.
What was it?
I just wanted to get away with saying retarded.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back.
In the short bus.
Make it special. Of course, the movie Shallow Hal with Jack Black. We could do that today because it's all about beauty standards.
I feel like all the Landwells who should feel appreciated will be offended by it.
And then the one that is, I think, oddly enough, just kind of become the normal today is The Girl Next Door.
Yeah, Alicia Cuthbert.
Yep. Where we come to find out that the girl next door is a porn star. So it's like, oh shit, this movie is just OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now it's like exactly like now all the girls who grew up with that was like, that was so cool. I'm gonna be an OnlyFans girl and there won't be any consequences because that movie was great. Yeah.
Like there's more here. I'm looking at the 40-year-old virgin. We could probably do that still, but
yeah, because a 40-year-old virgin was that an extension of Knocked Up, or was that an extent? It was after Talladega Nights or Anchorman.
It was 2005. Step Brothers was 2008. Knocked Up was 2007.
Okay. But again, it's the same, and I don't think it's Knocked Up because it's not the quite same comedy troupe. But I felt like, or there's a follow up to from 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's a different movie. That's the other couple. That I can't remember what that was called. Or something like that.
There was a lot of actually kind of underrated comedies from that era. Did you ever see the Dane Cook movie Employee of the Month?
Eventually.
It was the issue was, by and large, it was in that era in which it was kind of cool to hate Dane Cook. That was the big thing. Everyone was like, "Oh, I hate Dane Cook."
Yeah, because he had just come out with a comedy special.
Yep.
He had been in what's the one with the creepy one, Kevin Costner? Mr. Something. And one of them's a weird serial killer and the other one's trying to copycat him. It's kind of creepy and dark. Dane Cook's in that one. Who did I say was in it? Yeah, I think it's Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I also pull it up. And yet somehow it's movies like Paul Blart Mall Cop became just these smash out successes.
Mr. Brooks, that's what it is. And 07. Yeah, well, and then Paul Blart Mall Cop, because you had Kevin Smith, King of Queens. Again, very evergreen, him and Mike and Molly, right? So, what was her name? Suki. The female who became, when in that era, she was in all the movies. She was in the Happy Time Murders. But she became McCarthy. She became super crass and super just vulgar and gross to a point where it was just uncomfortable. Her movies had that 10-minute section where it was just this isn't Mad TV from the 90s. This isn't this this ruins the pace of everything, right?
It's kind of gross for being the sake of gross.
Yeah, and it's this doesn't right. I understand that's a humor side, but inserting that into everything to me is what are we doing? But so you had Mike and Mindy, which was popular at the same time, King of Queens. Kevin Hart, he did Hitch. He became everybody's chubby heartthrob. Even at what what game series, World Series or whatever, when he was doing his promo for his new movie or TV show where he's just sitting there with roses playing quote his character to try to promote it. Like, it's a weird thing. Shia LaBeouf might have done it too, but he's still like he's doing his shtick, but it's still very evergreen, right? I don't think he went super duper crass ever.
It was weird how that show Mike and Molly was just like kind of big, and people kept talking about it for so long. And it's like I never saw an episode of it. Of course, this was still in which like cable was still just popular enough that it was kind of there by default in that sort of like early Big Bang Theory era.
I didn't see any Mike and Molly until I want to say 2017 or 18 when I was back from when I was traveling a lot, but I'd be back at home for a week and I just have the TV cable going on kind of in the background. So that mid-afternoon while I was building Gundams in the couple off days, I'd be like, this show is nothing special at all. But I also can see that like, again, evergreen sitcom of that era. It kind of has the jokes, kind of calls things out, but like not pushing any edges, not pushing any boundaries, which again is why she acted like the equivalent of a Disney child star going super crass and vulgar when she got out of that role, because she was also very well known for her role in Gilmore Girls. So she wanted to be the bad girl for 5 years.
Well, the thing was, it's that sort of comfort food that some people always turn to. Like, just as kind of a little topic that happened, it was like reruns of Everybody Loves Raymond were trending on Peacock higher than Star Trek Brave New World or the Star Trek Academy.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, you're getting beat by reruns of Everybody Loves Raymond.
If The Office
show has been off the air for 20 years.
If The Office was still on TV, now it's on streaming, so you can watch it whenever you want. And when it's on Comedy Central, people will binge watch those episodes too, because it's one of those, like you said, that's one of the comfort foods. Parks and Rec, that era, like, that's comfort food.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of, they're done after 2 seasons of Star Trek, Academy.
Yep. Weren't sure if they were going to do a second season, but I think they've already done most of it right now.
My understanding is they got it all filmed. It's basically all done.
Yeah.
And so it's brand. They can't just not air it without a good reason.
Right. It'd have to be like Willow and be a write-off.
Right.
And it's not, we'll see if it's that bad. We'll find out soon enough. Or somebody will. I won't.
No, I'm not doing that to myself.
No.
So I guess kind of one last little thing as I'm kind of wrapping up. Other stuff I've been kind of really enjoying lately were I've basically binged through all of the current run of Sonic comics from IDW.
Okay.
I gotta say, for what it is, it's entertaining. It got me wanting to go play some Sonic the Hedgehog, so it did a good job of actually getting me to like go and buy a Sonic game. Nice. And I'm like, oh, cool. It was kind of reminiscing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is all pretty cool. And they're starting to like celebrate like the 2000 Sonic era. So like, yeah, Sonic Adventure 2, like that was like the best Sonic game ever. I get to go like, blast that amazing like butt rock, skater music.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh cool, let me go look at the Sega merchandise. What are they actually selling for Sonic merch? I look and these are kind of dumb, but at the same time, like this fucking Shadow the Hedgehog tiki mug.
Nice.
I'm like, that thing kind of goes hard. I might have to get the Shadow one.
Nice. That's fun.
It is.
Like, go ahead.
Oh, just a little bit of positivity, a little bit of fun. We're having a ho-hos and ha-has and hee-hees.
Yeah, I think some of my Gundam Converge should be coming in soon. Some of the pre-orders, and I've tried to keep up. I did I may have gone to Hobby Lobby and I may have found some, and I may have bought a couple that I'm gonna get in a box later, but I like them anyway. So, like the Gelgoogs. Hold on. It's from Gundam Converge number 27. Like, I'm not mad that I have a Gelgoog. Like, I'm gonna have 2 Gelgoog cannons now instead of just 1 Gelgoog cannon. And then what's the other Gelgoog? It's the yeah. Like
I pulled it up on a whim just to see like what all converges are, and there's a couple that I saw and I was like, I need this, but
Yeah.
then I saw the price and it was like, oh, the white base is $260. I'm like, I don't need it that badly.
Well, here's the thing about it. When they come out, when they release, and they're a limited run, right? They release, and you either get them on the pre-order or you get them then, you order them when they come out. Now the small ones, you can buy them between like $6 to $10 at Hobby Lobby or somewhere if you're lucky, right?
Right.
Just depends on if now Hobby Lobby is doing better at carrying them, so you have a better chance of catching those now at Hobby, but like hobby stores. But then sometimes they just won't get a few sets, and you're like, okay, so you can order online. But if you have to wait till they come on eBay or Amazon for the individual ones, then it's like 15, 20, $30 depending on how rare or how popular that version is.
It's something I might consider, but it's like a 20-minute drive just to go to the Hobby Lobby. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to go that badly, but maybe
Yeah.
if I go out to that side of town where like a couple of my other hobby shops are at, and I just kind of make an afternoon of it. In that case, then,
Right.
yeah, I could totally see making the trek over there because, yeah, maybe I got that itch, and I have like, as I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I have all of these
Oh, nice.
kits that have piled up.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go look at all your hobby shops, you might as well hit them all, because even the ones you don't think carry stuff or don't usually carry stuff, it just might be that day that they have something rare and hard to find, or something that when I might have bought the Kshatriya HG that like couldn't find it for 5 years, and finally they've reprinted enough that it's readily on the shelf, and it's like, you know what? Hopefully, I'll build it one day.
Well, I would say good luck with that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got a bit of ice in my mouth. I'd say kind of good luck with it. Just I've been hearing some people talking about gas prices might skyrocket the next week or so. So
I've heard things. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. More reason to stay home and do nothing.
Maybe I'll actually work through that backlog of kits.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just buy more stuff off Amazon and have it delivered to me.
Yeah.
Either way, with that said, I think it's probably a good time to wrap things up because we've been going over a little bit. We've been going over, and I do have to be up early, so
yeah,
just to say that's how it goes. With that said, let's see, Punk, you got anything coming up? Can we expect any ponderances?
I'm still slacking off, but I should be and I should be back on Wednesday, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for our crash out, cotton collision. Should be on Mad's channel tomorrow night, 9:15. So basically 12 hours or 24 hours from now on Mad's new channel for History Interrupted, where we talk about weird things in history, and only so many of us actually know what's going on, so the rest of us get to riff on it, and it's fun. Yeah, and then we'll see how the weekend goes. There's always, because it's not a cotton council, I usually hang out in the chat and kind of, I don't know. Fridays and Saturdays, I do hang out on Loki's. I missed last week, but I'm usually there. So
I've been kind of slack the last couple weeks, and I think it's in part for myself, because just been doing so much overtime that when I get home on Friday,
Oh yeah.
I pass out, and by the time I wake up, I'm like, I'm either just kind of coming back to consciousness. I actually want to actually go accomplish some stuff, and I'm like, I can't. Just it gets weird. But DJ Ronnie says he enjoyed Fridays at Loki's. Ronnie, it is always a pleasure to have you there. I look forward to the next time we hang out and we stream. Let's do it again. Let's do it again soon, buddy.
Do it.
Do it.
Oh,
and
the fortune from one of the fortune cookies I got with my Panda Express tonight was, your kindness will lead you to success. I guess I have to stop being an asshole. Okay.
I got Panda Express tonight. Mine said something to the extent of like, my charismatic personality draws people to me or something like that. And I'm like, I don't see it. And I got told, no, that tracks with you.
There you go.
I mean, to be fair, I somehow managed to talk Loki into watching Highlander 2.
Yeah. I've heard the way he talks about it.
All I'm saying is, apparently, there's a little bit more voodoo with these fingertips than I thought I'd be having. So, with that said, tomorrow night, hanging up pops talk hard. We are doing some Two Towers talk.
Nice.
So we get to go continue the trilogy and actually go further into this adventure.
Bring your long
go all
bottom
the way, Mr. Frodo. But aside from that, we'll have to do a little bit more hanging out, Punk. Maybe we'll plan some things out. And with that said, folks, I want you all to have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. Remember, the week's just getting started. It may be Monday, but that doesn't mean you have to dread all week. Give yourself something to look forward to. Like for myself, I'm gonna go curl in bed and go catch up on some anime I missed out on. So, with that said, let's head on out of here. And I will catch you all later. Say goodnight, Punk.
Later.
Burn this.
I'm sorry?
This must never be seen by anyone.
We can...
All copies